All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Early Morning Crypto Talk. Bitcoin Brandon from Los Angeles, California. We'll be getting started in a second. Go ahead and type in the chat box where you're listening in from. So we have Bethany Gales from Seattle, Cord Gomes, Rainy, Florida, Lynette from Oklahoma, Hillary, Moshe Frazier, welcome. As a disclaimer, I'm not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I read the news, I give my opinion, I share suggestion, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move into. 4 rules I live by in the crypto space. Rule number 1, education is key. Education is everything. Rule number 2, never invest money you cannot afford to lose. Rule number 3, always get your return on investment back as fast as possible. And rule number 4, where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? What are you willing to do to make it happen? Find a vehicle, make a decision, take action, and remain focused. Do not get distracted. Now, these rules is not going to guarantee you success, but it will at least minimize your risk. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the most that we can ask for. All right, so let's see what's going on in the market today. We've seen some positive movement over the past week. So you should be able to see my screen. We've got market cap is over 140 billion. This is a good sign. That is up 10 billion over the past week. But here's the deal. Bitcoin dominance has been dropping. Now it's down to 50.7%, which means that money, that 10 billion did not go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin only went from 3,800 to 4,000, up 2% of the last 24 hours. All that money went to the altcoins. All the other coins are having a run. So we've got Bitcoin over 4,000. Ethereum's up 3%. Ripple 1.5%. Litecoin 4.2%. EOS, Bitcoin Cash is up 9%. Binance Coin 4%. Stellar, even despite the report, Tether's still doing what Tether does. Let's see, best performance over the last 24 hours. You have Holo, that's up 18.4%. Thor Coin, Bitcoin Cash, Repo, Ravane. So pretty healthy across the board. It hasn't gone skyrocketed yet. This has been a slow, steady rise this week. $10 billion of new money. Worst performers, Crypto.com chain, down 22%, but it had a big rise, so it's still higher than it was a week ago. ABBC coin, Project Pi, Aurora Engine coin kind of flatlined itself. I would recommend this coin simply because of their attachment to Samsung. Samsung's headquartered in Asia. Galaxy phones. All right, so let's see in the news. First is this. I want to look at early Bitcoin developer Jeff Garzik subpoenaed in $1 billion Craig Wright lawsuit. Now I have not heard about a $1 billion lawsuit involving the self-proclaimed Satoshi Nakamoto, Craig Wright. So let's see what's going on here. Jeff Garzik, one of the earliest contributors to the Bitcoin code base, who also previously worked for BitPay, has been served. Garzik, in the spirit of radical transparency, shared the subpoena on Twitter, not appearing particularly shocked and noting that the Bitcoin lawsuit drags on. Maybe he saw it coming, as the summons is comprised of more than 24 requests surrounding everything from the true identity of Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto to Silk Road to Mt. Gox. Jeff Garzik dragged into a $1 billion Bitcoin lawsuit. Garzik is being subpoenaed by the U.S. District Court of the Southern District of Florida for documents relating to the Kleiman versus Craig Wright complaint. The estate of computer forensics expert Dave Kleiman, who died in 2013 from seemingly natural causes and who is being represented by his brother, Ira, is suing the self-proclaimed Satoshi Nakamoto Craig Wright for a minimum of roughly 300,000 Bitcoin, allegedly stolen from an early crypto mining operation. I did hear about that. This has been going on for a while. 300,000 Bitcoin. Back in 2013, that was still a lot of money. But compared to today, so just so you guys know, these early Bitcoin developer guys, even like Craig Wright, they are sitting on stacks of money, hundreds of millions of dollars. So Jeff Garzik says, you got served. The hashtag Bitcoin lawsuit drones on. In the interest of radical transparency, here's the subpoena that just arrived for me. Chief among the requests for Garzik surrounds the identity of Satoshi Nakamoto, who reportedly controls about 1 million Bitcoins. The court is demanding all documents, communications, and agreements that support Jeff's personal theory that Dave Kleiman is Satoshi Nakamoto. Everybody's pointing fingers. Who's the real Satoshi Nakamoto? Communications represent anything from emails to SMS messages to Twitter direct messages to Facebook posts and much more. How old is Twitter? Was Twitter around in 2009? Now, I don't know. I don't tweet. I don't get into all of that stuff. That's the one thing I don't know how to do. I have a Twitter account, but I don't follow any. I don't look at it. I don't know how old Twitter is. Garzik worked alongside Satoshi Nakamoto, albeit virtually, for years through private emails and online forums until the Bitcoin creator went dark in 2011. Garzik later stated that he believed he was dealing with Kleiman. You know what this kind of reminds me of? You ever seen that movie Ready Player One? And the entire game is or the movie is premised around trying to find out the clues of the creator of, I forgot what the universe they called it was in the game, but he was real eccentric, and people wanted to know everything about his life. And anyway, that's kind of like Satoshi Nakamoto. My personal theory is that it's Floridian Dave Kleiman. It matches his coding style. This gentleman was self-taught, and the Bitcoin coder was someone who was very, very smart, but not a classically trained software engineer. The court document provides a trio of email addresses for the Bitcoin creator, including the following accounts: Satoshi@gmx.com, Satoshi@vistomail.com, and Satoshi@anonymousspeech.com. Garzik told to provide treasure trove of documents to court. Garzik must also cough up any communications with Craig Wright and David Kleiman in addition to the following: documents and communications tied to WNK, that's Wright and Kleiman; Info Defense Research, which is the LLC through which Kleiman and Wright allegedly mined BTC; communications with Yuan Nguyen, who is seemingly tied to the LLC; documents and communications tied to Bitcoin mining from the period 2009 to 2013; information related to the mysterious Tulip Trust, interesting name they wanted to use, which is a trust fund seemingly comprised of more than 1 million Bitcoin, whose wallet will reportedly be unlocked in 2020. Really? Communications and agreements tied to Silk Road. Garzik was given 30 days from the date of the subpoena to produce the documents in question to an Atlanta, Georgia location unless agreed upon with the plaintiffs otherwise. Maybe his contribution will finally provide some closure to the Kleiman-Wright dispute, but don't expect them to lift the curtain on the true identity of Bitcoin's mysterious inventor. Now I'm going to pay attention to this one. Because when you get the courts involved, now we're not talking about hearsay anymore. We actually have to look at proof and evidence and some facts. So I'm making a note to pay attention to this whenever I see it in the news. All right. This one, Bitcoin up 3% as crypto adds $10 billion in 1 week. Can the rally continue? I only say only to a certain extent. Not going to the moon just yet. Overnight, the Bitcoin price surged 3% against the US dollar, above the $4,000 mark, as major crypto assets and the likes of Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash recorded gains in the range of 6 to 18%. Fueled by the momentum of Bitcoin, the valuation of the crypto market spiked by $10 billion in the past week, which has been on the rise since March 12th due to the strong performance of tokens. Can the Bitcoin rally continue? According to cryptocurrency technical analyst Maine, on the technical side, the price trend of Bitcoin is not overly bearish as long as Bitcoin remains above $3,693 its yearly open. I've said this for a while. As long as we are above the yearly open on BTC and Ethereum, there is no reason to be overly bearish. BTC following the squiggly, if we break through here, I expect a move to $4,100, the analyst said. As such, if Bitcoin is able to maintain its momentum above key resistance levels, including $4,000, there exists a possibility that the dominant crypto can continue to engage in an upside movement. I'm taking pause on this. And the reason is because I think they're focusing too much attention on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not the reason for this rally. I think Bitcoin is benefiting from this rally. The money's not going to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, when it was at 3,600, Bitcoin dominance was at like 53, 54%. It's down 50 to 50%. So it went down 3 points, yet $10 billion has been added to the market. What I do think is that if people are investing in the altcoins like this, then that is creating a good foundation for the entire crypto space. And we'll see if more money is added, if it's going to be added by Bitcoin. So here's the real question. Is it Bitcoin that's driving this market run? or is it the altcoins driving the market run? Either way, when you add more water to the river, all ships rise with it. All ships rise with the rising tides. That's why I say, those of you that mining green, for example, it's not about right now everything that green's about, the project, the real world applications and all that stuff. This is the number I'm paying attention to. Because no matter what green's doing, I know that the higher number this rises, the more valuable the green coin's going to be. So imagine it going onto the market. You've got 3, 4, 5, 10 million coins. It's below $200 billion crypto market cap. And then the crypto market cap jumps to $1 trillion. It happened before. All coins rise with it. I got to find, I don't know if it was an image back in 2017. I remember making a post that showed all the coins in about December 12th or 13th. And it was like 5 or 6 coins that were over $1,000 per coin. Yeah, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash. What else was it? Electroneum. Ethereum Classic. No, it wasn't. Bitcoin. You guys remember all the coins that were above 1,000? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash. I don't remember if Litecoin got above 1,000. There was no Bitcoin SV or Monero, Dash. I'll go back and do my research on that. Anyways. So as such, if Bitcoin is able to maintain its momentum above key resistance levels, including 4,000, there exists a possibility that the dominant crypto can continue to engage in an upside movement. Maybe, albeit slowly. I don't see Bitcoin. The market's still being manipulated right now. So if it's facing this amount of pressure and still moving up, when the manipulators take their foot off the brake, this thing's going to skyrocket. Hence, for the upside movement of the crypto market to be sustained, the trader said that the price of Bitcoin will also have to move in a positive direction. Here's what's going to freak everybody out. What happens when Bitcoin goes into the red, but all the altcoins continue to stay in the green? That would be a flip. In the near term, similar to what former International Monetary Fund economist Mark Dow said, Don Alt noted that it is critical for Bitcoin to climb up to $4,600, favorably to $6,000 to avoid retesting its lows. The trader said, volume isn't what will convince me that the bear market is over. A bullish market structure along with a break of at least 4,600, favorably 6K is. It's interesting that we've had so many altcoin pumps while the general market cap hasn't really changed. That makes me think there is very little new money coming in. Well, $10 billion is new money. What are you talking about? Very little new money. 10 billion came from somewhere. Apart from Bitcoin and Ethereum, Litecoin remains as one of the best performing crypto assets year to date. Litecoin. Since January, the price of Litecoin has spiked from around $31 to $61.9 by nearly 100% against the US dollar. The performance of Litecoin is mainly attributed to its growing developer activity, especially in the area of privacy solutions such as confidential transactions and Mimblewimble. Mimblewimble. In recent weeks, the volume of major cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, has increased substantially, demonstrating an overall increase in trading activity. Bitcoin, for instance, saw its volume spike to over $10 billion. And if the volume of the over-the-counter market is added, its volume could near somewhere around $15 billion. Last month, economist Alex Kruger said that the Bitcoin chart is showing indicators of a bottom, but it cannot be confirmed if it does not test key resistance levels. Short-term longs above 3,550, 3,700, key level below buy. 4,200 key level above. Charts scream bottom. Yet regardless of any bullish developments, interest in the space is still minimal. If price turns south of 35.50, a new low becomes likely. The future is path dependent, he said. I agree to that, but I still think that it's going to go below 35.50. I think it's going to go below 3,000. The last time Bitcoin tested $4,000 and spiked to around 4,200, it dropped back down to the 3,700 region. It remains to be seen whether Bitcoin can climb beyond the crucial $4,200 and 4,600 resistance levels in the weeks to come. I would keep my eye, again, not on Bitcoin, but on the other coins here, where all this new money's coming into. So if this though continues to rise, then Bitcoin by default will rise as well. To get below 3,000, this number is going to have to get below 100 billion. So if the moment you see that go below 100 billion, then, I think we kind of hit the bottom. We'd be at $2,700, $2,800 a coin. So the market would have to lose $40 billion, and people will freak out when that happens. That's when you buy. All right. And trader, Bitcoin bull market won't arrive until price shatters 4,600. I don't agree with that. I think it needs to go above 6,000 before we start seeing real bulls. Well, let's see what he's talking about. In the past 7 days, the valuation of the crypto market has increased from 131 billion to 137 billion as the Bitcoin price slightly recovered at 39.60. The minor movement in the price of Bitcoin, despite the significant surge in the price of alternative crypto, suggests that existing money in the crypto market is moving, but new money is not flowing in. Again, what are you talking about? Is this the same guy? Who wrote this article? Joseph Young. Okay, here's why when you do your own research, you're able to challenge things that you read. Here's what he says. I'm going to read that part again. He says, let's see, the minor movement. Cryptocurrency suggests that existing money in the crypto market is moving, but new money is not flowing in. If that was true, then this 140 billion would still be at 132 billion. Where'd the extra, or 130, where'd the extra $10 billion come from? That's not existing money in the market. Just so you guys know, this number represents all cryptocurrency coins on 16,308 markets. That's what this number represents. When the number goes up, that means new money outside of these markets is coming in. Otherwise, you just have side trading going on. You have buying and selling from coin to coin. When this goes up, new money comes in. When this goes down, money is being taken out of the market. Education is key. So just that alone, I'm able to challenge this guy. Anyways, let's continue. New money is not flowing in. Yes, it is. Speaking to CCN, a cryptocurrency technical analyst known as Don Alt said that there exists a newfound optimism in the crypto market, which may have been primarily triggered by the spike in the price of Ethereum. Maybe. I won't disagree with that. But until Bitcoin breaks 4,600 and makes its way towards 5,000 to 6,000, the trader said that it's difficult to conclude the bear market is over. You guys got to remember, at one point, Bitcoin was right around the $10,000 mark for a little bit, and then dropped to 6,000, and we all freaked out. And then it dropped by half again. 6,000 is not the key point. We have to see the sucker go back up towards that $9,000 mark to start to declare the bulls are back. So in recent weeks, in other words, you know what this number needs to be? This number needs to be at around 300 billion. Before I start, the bulls are back. That's just my opinion. In recent weeks, prices of many crypto assets and tokens and the likes of Litecoin and Engine Coin have surged substantially against both Bitcoin and the US dollar, regarding gains in the range of 20 to 100%. Still, the price of Bitcoin has remained in the tight $3,800 to $4,000 range, unable to cleanly break out of the key $4,000 resistance level for months. While the volume of Bitcoin has reached 11 billion in recent weeks and the overall trading activity in the crypto market increased, Don Alt told CCN that he is not particularly concerned about the volume. Rather, the analyst explained that Bitcoin breaking at least 4,600 is crucial to confirm the end of a 15-month bear market, and that as of now, there is little inflow of capital. This guy's got it all wrong. What do you mean there's little inflow of capital? We just added 10 billion. 4,600 is not the crucial mark. Anyways, he said, volume isn't what will convince me that the bear market is over. A bullish market structure along with a break of at least 46K, favorably 6K is. Well, the only way that's going to happen is when you have volume in the market. What are you talking about? It's interesting that we've had so many altcoin pumps while the general market cap hasn't really changed. That makes me think there is very little new money coming in. I would challenge, does this guy even know how to read the charts? Anyways, but in spite of the stability of Bitcoin, the analyst said that the twofold surge in the price of Ethereum from 80 to 160 created newfound optimism in the market, leading investors to become more confident in the alternative cryptocurrency market. There definitely is a newfound optimism in the market ever since Ethereum managed to double. That move raised confidence in the market for both traders and investors alike, and that confidence is now seeping into the altcoin market. That optimism drives volume, which we've seen increase in weeks. Wait, didn't you just say that you didn't see any volume increase? And now you say you have seen volume increase? Macro movement of crypto remains bullish. In a grand scheme of things, the analysts explained that the crypto market seems to be turning towards a positive direction, given the price movements of most cryptos in the market. I agree with that. CBOE reportedly decided to drop Bitcoin futures in the short term due to lack of volumes. But analysts suggest that the decline in volumes is solely reflected on CBOE's Bitcoin futures, but not necessarily other future products. I'd say that just mostly caused by the lack of volume on those futures. You know what? I didn't even think about this. See, it's the CBOE and the CME where they came on board in the first place, December 17th, 2017, that the market started to drop. Now that the CBOE decided, oh, we're not going to play the game right now, we're seeing the market start to move forward. Could there be a correlation? I don't know. You tell me. I just find that interesting. The cryptocurrency market has climbed gradually since December 2018. And if Bitcoin as the dominant crypto leads the market to the upside, many traders expect the trend of the crypto market to turn. Interesting. I didn't think about that. I'm going to watch that closely. The CBOE not involved. You know what? There is an article about that. I chose not to look at it, but I think I will. Let's take a look. If the CBOE is not getting involved this quarter or the next quarter, that's going to have an impact on the crypto price, because I believe that they're part of the reason why it was Gloat CB. Okay. Legendary crypto seller gloats. All right, we're going to cover one more article. I'm learning something new here. And you're right, DT Crypto. CBOE needs it to fall and rise continuously, and it's been flat for the last 3 months. It's been flat because of their own making. All right. Legendary crypto short seller gloats as CBOE dumps Bitcoin futures. Former IMF economist Mark Dow enshrined his name in derivatives trading lore when he famously shorted the Bitcoin price from its December 2017 peak. See, here's an example of a guy who did exactly this. Helped force the price of it down. So he shorted it when it was at 20,000 all the way down to a trough below 3,500 a year later. Now the legendary crypto short seller is gloating as the first exchange to list Bitcoin futures, delist a flagship crypto. Perhaps for good. No, it's not for good. Big Bitcoin short trader Mark Dow laughs off CBOE's crypto futures exit, writing on Twitter. Dow joked that he caused the market's liquidity to dry up when he closed out his epic short position. He's basically bragging that he was able to manipulate the market. I guess this is what happened when I stopped trading it, he wrote. Thanks for the memories, XBT On March 14th, CCN reported that CBOE had suspended the addition of new XBT futures contracts. In its announcement, CBOE said that it chose to axe Bitcoin futures while it reassesses its support for crypto products. CFE is not adding a CBOE Bitcoin USD XBT futures contract for trading in March 2019. CFE is assessing its approach with respect to how it plans to continue to offer digital asset derivatives for trading. While it considers its next steps, CFE does not currently intend to list additional XBT futures contracts for trading. Currently listed XBT futures contracts remain available for trading. Dow says, all joking aside, since I had to roll my hashtag Bitcoin exposure each month last year, I saw that the liquidity got worse every time. Hard to buy the story about broadening institutional adoption when you see this. I guess this is what happened when I stopped trading it. Huh. Talk about an ego. But again, you got to put yourself in the mind of a derivatives trader. These guys aren't playing in a $50,000 or $100,000 sandbox. These guys deal with millions. So the crypto market cap at 130, 140 billion is nothing to them. It's so small that a handful of guys like this can and will and did manipulate the market. They are professionals. They know how to play the game, especially when they're going up against a bunch of what they call retail, unprofessional, uneducated rookies that never been in the trading market before until crypto, like myself. I'm not an expert on that. I don't have millions and millions and millions that I've been trading for the last 10, 20 years like they do. These are the institutional guys. But I'm not mad if he decides to bow out right now. Then the market can do what it naturally needs to do. So Dow said that he was not surprised to see CBOE close its Bitcoin futures market, contravening the industry narrative that institutional investors are steadily moving capital into crypto. No. What they're doing is they're building the infrastructure for it. Dow said that liquidity in the institutional-focused futures markets got worse every month. All joking aside, since I had to roll my Bitcoin exposure, I saw that the liquidity got worse every time. Hard to buy the story about broadening institutional adoption when you see this. Of course, it's important to put CBOE's announcement in perspective. CBOE's Bitcoin futures volumes were always far smaller than those of rival CME, the only other U.S. exchange to currently offer crypto futures. CME reported steady growth in this market throughout 2018, with average daily volume increasing by 119% between first quarter and fourth quarter. Last month, the exchange recorded a record in the amount of BTC futures contracts traded within a single day, as over 18,000 contracts representing a total of 90,000 Bitcoin, $350 million, changed hands in one day. This ain't going anywhere. CBOE's exit a stunning reversal for the crypto curious exchange. Still, CBOE made history in 2017 when it became the first derivatives exchange to list Bitcoin futures. That was December 17th. Remember that date. At the time, many crypto bulls predicted that it would usher in a wave of new investment in the nascent asset class and launched the market to new highs. It actually did the complete opposite. Instead, according to analysts at the Federal Reserve, the launch of BTC futures on CBOE and fellow Chicago exchange CME triggered the historic cryptocurrency bubble crash, enabling bears like Mark Dow to make a fortune shorting the Bitcoin price. He made lifetime money on that, as it created by more than 80% because he bet against it. Look at this. December 17th, right here. CBOE comes online. Very next, look at that drop. Bam, 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 bam. All the way since. And now, CBOE is dropping it for now. We're starting to see a climb upward. Is that coincidence? While CBOE did not explicitly state that it had permanently halted support for Bitcoin, many believe the writing is on the wall, at least in the near term. In any case, it's a stunning reversal. Given the exchange race to become the first to support Bitcoin and once boasted that it hoped to launch an entire suite of crypto products. Okay, here's one thing. I never listen to what they say. I follow what they do. They made a killing in 2018 when that came online in December 2017. Now that it's at the bottom and they're bowing out, they made their money. What happens when the market comes roaring back up again and CBOE decides to come back? You know what they're going to do? Short it again. And you're going to see a huge market correction. So this is why reading these articles is important, because seeing what they've done in the past, you now can have a guess on what they're going to do in the future. So when you see Bitcoin jump up again, and then you start hearing news about the CBOE opening up their trading desk again for futures, you might want to sell your coins at that point or move them to a stable coin and wait for the market correction to happen and then get back in it. Piggybacking off of the big guys. That's the key. That's the deal. You don't have to be the smartest one to understand this. Just follow behind what they do. Getting their crumbs. Do you understand what their crumbs are? Hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's okay. All right, so that is it for crypto news for this morning. I may be back depending on how the news flows. Let's look at crypto market cap since I've been talking. Has it changed much? If there's major news, I'll be back for late night crypto talk tonight. If not, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. So I hope you learned something new. As always, that's the point. Have a great weekend. Bitcoin Brandon out. God bless. Bye-bye.